Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the World of Horror podcast with Mom and Mac. I'm Mom.
And I'm Mac.
This is the podcast where we share our love of international horror. Everyone has their fears, but we are not afraid of subtitles. Disclaimers for adult language and spoilers. Hi, Mac. How's it going?
Hi, Mom. It's good. I had a birthday. Now I'm 30. Feels weird. Like, okay, I don't want this to come off the wrong way to anybody above 30, but it just feels kind of crazy. Like, I feel like as a kid, I would think of years in the future, and I don't think I thought of anything beyond 30, I guess. Like, I kind of thought, like, maybe I'll be at this place in my life in 2026, but I've never conceptualized, like, past that. So, just feels weird.
Yeah, I can imagine. I remember, I think I told you I wasted my whole 29th year because I was upset about turning 30. And then I realized I'm probably going to live a long time. So it's not worth it to be so down, so young.
Yeah. And that's what people, like, every time I talk to, like, I went to CrossFit this morning and told some people I turned 30, and all I heard was like, oh, okay, well, you're really young. So
yeah,
I think that's what I need to surround myself with, like, people my age or older. My issue is I keep going on the internet and I'll be on like a forum and I'll read somebody being like, I'm 23 and like, I just don't know what I'm doing in life. And I don't know why, but that bums me out. Not for their sake, for mine, where I'm just like, like you seem like not to be like, oh, 7 years younger than me, you're such a baby. But like, I feel like so much changes in your 20s. So thinking of a 23-year-old me, I'm like, yeah, you think you're an adult because you made it past 18, but you're still baby, which I know is how people would think of me. But it's just, I don't know. It's weird. Because also I'm like the baby of the family. Well, I'm not the youngest, but in our family unit. But now there's like nobody, or there's so many people younger than me, if that makes sense.
Well, there's like a whole generation below you now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was, not to rehash the whole thing about people carrying around plushies in public, but I had asked you how you felt about that, and you gave me your opinion. And then I'm like, yeah, but there are all these, what about people in their 20s or younger? Like, I wonder how they would feel. So I like to check in with you to get your opinion, but now I have to check in with people who are like 15 also to get their opinion. And so Quinn and I were like, who are those? Are those Gen Alpha? And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Can't keep up.
I don't know who they are, but they're the youngins.
Yeah. We have like a friend who's got 2 teenage daughters, and like, I don't know. It's like, I can just remember a time where I felt like I had my finger on the pulse of everything. Like, all jokes, if an adult made a joke, I'd be like, I saw that joke on the internet like 6 months ago. But now I think I'm that, which I'm happy to be. I don't need to be chronically online, but it just, I feel like, I don't know, such like a hello, fellow kids. Like, when I hear like teens talk, which is how it should be, but it still just feels weird.
Well, yeah, I had an experience like that. I mean, I guess I could say get used to it, which isn't very nice, but I was watching Pop Culture Jeopardy, and I didn't know what half of the stuff was. I was just really lost. Like music, most music clues, I had no clue.
Yeah.
So I felt like really out of it. So I get it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's frustrating.
And it's like the newest like artists or actors, they'll just keep being younger, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't need to be obsessed with like an 18-year-old, or God forbid, somebody even younger than 18, like a star. I mean, like that would, if I was like my favorite actor, oh, it's this like 15-year-old, like that, that's odd. You can appreciate their work, but when you're that age, you could have a poster of them on your wall, So now I'm just like, I don't know. I don't even want to engage. I'll wait till you're in your career.
I'm glad you have that perspective, though, because I think the alternative would just be like trying to stay that age, sort of, and be stuck at that age. And I think that's worse.
For sure.
So, but I can see how it feels different. Like you're in a whole new decade. So it's a big one. I think 30 is a big one.
It feels like it, but I'm trying not to crash out over it, as the young people say. Oh, okay, here's what really got me is there's a new season of Love Island. I love Love Island. There are 2 guys on the season who were born in 1996. And okay, this one guy, he's 29 now, but he will be 30 this year, was talking to the girl he got partnered up with, who's 22. And she was like, so when were you born? And he was like, okay, well, I was born in 1996. And she looked at like such a face of disgust of like, oh my God, you were born in the 90s? The way they talk about him, they're like, Bryce is so old. I'm like, no, he's not.
But if you think back to when you were 23, you probably did think that 30 was old.
I did. 100%.
But in the grand scheme of things, like I know somebody who just turned 45 and she was a little bummed out about that, and I was pretty bummed out about turning 57, and, you're navigating turning 30. So I think it's all, perspective. Like if I live to be 80, God willing, I guess, as long as I'm healthy, I might look back on being 57 as like, I was so young then, but I certainly don't feel that way right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll get used to it. All of us in our years.
As soon as we get used to it, then
you have to get used to the next
click
one.
Over. Yeah.
Yeah. Yay. Okay, now I got to tell you about my birthday day. And I'm only focusing on the negative right now. So much positive happened, totally outweighed the negative, but the negative makes for a better story. So I will just mainly talk about this escape room Alan and I did. Okay, context. I love escape rooms. I'm not trying to say I'm a genius, but I've done many, and I usually don't ask for more than like 1 or 2 hints. And even when you ask for a hint, it feels like there's nothing else I can do. I need this hint. This particular place, they've got 3 like buildings next to each other, and I've done a ton of their escape rooms, and I really like them. And in fact, I had just done one like 2 weeks ago and loved it. This one, they got to workshop it because it got to a point where like the guy was just talking over the mic, just telling us what to do. Like we weren't even asking for the hint anymore. And what really frustrated me was like, so many escape rooms, they're like, don't break our room. And you're like, okay, I won't break your room. This room, you kind of had to break it. And I kept not getting things because I was like, well, I don't want to. Normally, this would be something you shouldn't touch or remove. And for instance, there was this little tube of toothpaste. It was sealed with like a gel. So I thought, oh, I shouldn't squeeze this too hard. I might break this. No, you were supposed to squeeze it hard because it turns out there's a light in it that you can only see if you squeeze it like as hard as you can. I never would have done that in my life. Like, why would you do that? And then all that, like trying not to break the room, needing so much help because I'm not breaking the room. I did break something in the room. Like, like we were trying to figure out where this like bolt, it was supposed to unscrew something. nothing pointing you to where that could be. It turns out there was like this panel where there was just one bolt that was slightly different. Stupid. But he says, look at the toilet, because there was like a fake toilet there. So I see a hole and I'm thinking, none of this has been intuitive or made sense so far. Here's a hole in this toilet. I guess this goes in the hole. No, I put it in the hole. It like fell somewhere and we just were like, we lost the thing. We're sorry. And he had to come in and wrench open the door so we could go to the next area. And I just was like, this means your room sucks. If like you tell me to break everything and then I accidentally do break something. That's on you, not on me. And the last, like, there's so much that was stupid, but the last thing is like there was this directional pad and we figured out the right way to do it. And it just kept not working. And he goes over the intercom again and is like, you have to do it really fast. Like, you're not doing it fast enough. I'm just like, your room sucks. I got it right. I'm supposed to go like this. Why would I do that? So stupid. And we were there for an hour and a half. He like let us stay 30 minutes extra, but we didn't want that. We kind of just wanted them to be like, oh, okay, you didn't get it.
Did you finally get out after an hour and a half?
Yep. I think. Yep. And he was like, do you have any questions? And I was just like, nope, have a good day, sir. I need to get out of this building.
Oh, no. That's a shame.
Yeah, it was a bummer. Like, I kind of want to give them feedback. It feels like one of those things where since they made the hints or they made the puzzle, it seems obvious to them. But there's no motifs or anything that point you in any direction. And I think that makes your room bad.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
Thank
you need to be able to navigate the room and to figure out like what the clues are and where they're pointing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't sound like a very good room.
No, would not recommend. If you go to Nerd Red escape rooms, don't do the prison break. And if you do, well, now you kind of know how to do it. So maybe don't break the toilet.
Oh, man.
And I got food poisoning. So
that sucks.
Yeah, it was kind of like I love Cheesecake Factory. I don't anymore after what they did to me. Like, I would have ranked it. Like, I went there for my birthday. I love that place. Actually, not anymore. It might be like a good few years before I let them back into my heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was rough.
Food poisoning is rough. Yeah. I'm so sorry. And on your birthday, too. Not really.
Birthday. But it's still, I would consider it a good birthday. It was like, you know, those two things couldn't get me down. Now the food poisoning did get me down the next 2 days, but I'm over it now. So we're all good.
That's good. Oh, gosh.
How's your week?
It's been pretty good. I had this event on Friday. So I had two friends who had really good news. So one of them got a job. Ooh. And it was actually a job that I wrote a letter of recommendation for. So I was really happy to hear that she got it. And another friend, it's kind of complicated to say, but she might be coming into some money sort of unexpectedly. So I was just like, motherfucker, like, why doesn't good stuff ever happen to me? And I fell into this whole pity pot. And I was just like, man, it's like just not fair. And then I sort of stopped myself and I'm like, okay, I didn't apply for that job. Yeah. So it's not like she got it over me, you know, and also it involves teaching at night, which I would never want to do. So it's a job I would never want to have. So why I was jealous about that, you know, is just unreasonable. Doesn't make any sense. Irrational. Yeah. And the other friend is having this stuff happen because she's willing to go out into the world and put herself out there because she's an extrovert and she loves meeting strangers and talking to people. And so I'm just like, well, that's not me. So it would never be me. So good for her. Like, and then I was like, and I had a lot of good stuff, good fortune earlier this year. So, which was pretty unexpected. And so, but I had to call some people and kind of talk it out because it was really bothering me. And I got one good suggestion, and that was to write a gratitude list of 5 things that I'm grateful for. And that helped to calm me down a little bit. And I feel fine now, but it was pretty tough there on a Friday afternoon. Yeah.
I do that so often where I compare myself. Like I have a friend who's got this beautiful house and I feel so nice whenever I'm in it. But like her life circumstances that led her to be able to have this house, I don't want. So, exactly what you said. It's like, and it is so nice to, like, one time there was like a year or two ago, I was feeling so just like, what is good in my life, so sad about everything. And then I thought about like, what would me as a kid think of, let me try to think of what me as a kid would like about my life. And I was able to think of so many things about, being like, I've got like this amazing boyfriend who I really love. And me as like, when I was in 6th grade or 7th grade, I was like, I want a boyfriend so bad. And like, if I told little me, like, don't worry, it'll happen. And, he's kind of going to be like your ideal of like what a dream, guy could be. I'd be like, okay, we're set. We're all set. Or, if I was like, look, you have these beautiful cats that love you a lot. I'd be like, oh, okay. Like, why are you mad? Like, why are you upset?
Yeah. Yeah, me too. My life is so good. I can't even believe it. Like, even, childhood me would definitely, feel good about where I've ended up. But even like 35-year-old me, So, it's been really nice. And one thing about getting older is it's great. I mean, you learn new things, you have new experiences, and then you have like more to look back on. So, I mean, it really is pretty cool getting older. It beats the alternative, I guess. So, so there are really good things about it, and I would never want to go back.
Yeah. Like same.
Somebody asked me that, like, what was your happiest year of your life? And I'm like, this one. Yeah. And I hope I can say that next year. Like, yeah, it's just always the case for me.
Yeah. I love that.
And at least my house isn't infested with spiders.
Yeah. At least I don't have crippling arachnophobia. WoHos, this week we're doing spiders. Quick question. How do you feel about spiders, Mom?
Mostly I like them. I don't have issues with them, but I live in a place where there aren't really big tarantula looking spiders crawling around. So if I had to deal with those, I don't know how I would feel. Yeah. But the little house spiders and stuff that I come across, I love them.
Yeah, we're cool.
Mm-hmm.
If I could give them a little fist bump, I would. Though sometimes it's not that I sick the cats on them. It's like I care about the happiness of the cats. And you would not believe how happy it makes Luffy to just tear an insect limb from limb or an arachnid limb from limb. And so there was one that was chilling in the bathroom all yesterday and he noticed it. And man, like he was just like, it got a little bit out of reach and he just kept being like, come on, like wanted me to like kind of push him closer. And then, he ate it. But, sad for the spider, but you should have seen his face. He was so happy. So
I know at first when you were talking, I was like, oh my God, that's horrible. But actually, I've had bugs in my house too. And I just love it. Like the way my cat like bats around an insect,
It's so cute.
Yeah.
Though he won't just kill a cockroach. He'll like maim it in some way. And then I'm not saying I like this or this is how life should be. It just is what it is. And then he'll flip the cockroach back over and kind of hit it like, okay, keep moving.
Carry on.
And then he'll go and rip another leg off.
Oh, man.
And then sometimes they get away. And I'm like, okay, your main goal here is to rid me of them. So can you do that, please?
Man.
Well, our first film is Arachnophobia. Here is a short plot summary from IMDb. A new species of South American killer spider hitches a lift to a California town in a coffin and starts to breed, leaving a trail of deaths that puzzle and terrify young Dr. Ross Jennings, who is newly arrived in town with his family.
Mm-hmm.
It was directed by Frank Marshall, with screenplay by Don Jacoby and Wesley Strick. Story by is it Jacoby or Jacoby?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Don Jacoby, and Al Williams. It stars Jeff Daniels, Julian Sands, Harley Jane Kojak, and John Goodman, with cinematography by Michael Salomon and edited by Michael Kahn, with music by Trevor Jones. It was released July 18th, 1990, with a runtime of 110 minutes. I think some time could be shaved off. There was a little bit where and it's kind of when all the action happens that I kind of was like checked out a little bit. First off, I like this movie, but I think its strengths lie more so in less, like the spiders are more of like, I find the conflict more interesting than the spiders themselves. So when they focus so hard on the spiders, I feel like it kind of fails. But when it's the psychological part that this guy's going through, I like that. And I'll explain more when we get to it. But we have our opening scene in Venezuela with Manley, the photographer, and Dr. James Atherton. This was so beautiful. Oh my God. I was in awe. I was just like, I feel like I say this every podcast, but you just don't see stuff like this anymore. Like you don't see a location that's just like they're on like a mountaintop and it's so gorgeous. And I'm sure some of it, was like when they get to the giant tree, I'm sure that wasn't just there, but it felt like it was. And I was in awe. So at the, this like South American site, we got Manley, who, he's kind of just like your everyday guy. He's got like a Dolphins cap on when he's talking to the British Dr. James Atherton. Dr. James Atherton asks, "And what is your speciality?" And he says, "Football." And, we got a little bit of racism here and there, like we've just got some like nondescript, like quote unquote, like tribal people, like showing them the way. They get to a certain point. It's like, hey, even they won't cross that line. The bowl cut on this guy who is like their like native guide. I don't know. The way this guy, you also can't do this anymore. You don't see people in different, like these beautiful sites. That's bad. But luckily, I hope you don't see as much these just like random racist depictions. Anyways, so they're looking for new species. Manley really doesn't want to be there. They get to this like beautiful like tree. It's so gorgeous. It really does look like they're in like a area from the dinosaurs. Like it just looks so otherworldly. And then Atherton just pulls out this giant gun full of like pesticides and just sprays it. And nobody's got any masks on. That they are all in danger of getting something now. But all these, insects and whatnot start falling. Spider falls. Okay, this is a cool new spider. It hitches a ride. And Manley, who did have a fever, gets bitten by the spider. And since he had a fever, they're like, oh, he just died from the fever.
Right.
And I know this is a movie and we need conflict. I texted my mom this. Okay. I took one entomology class in college And there were so many days we learned about how much the world has been fucked by like insects traveling across borders and how we don't fuck with that anymore. Like there's so much that goes into making sure that doesn't happen. I think you could still have like the spider go, but this Atherton guy kind of seems like an asshole. So just have him be like, well, we're not going to tell customs. Like that makes more sense, but nothing gets checked. I don't know. I felt like that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
So Atherton, he goes to his hometown, and at the funeral home, they bust open this casket and they just kind of make a comment like, like the funeral director calls up Manley's family and he's like, okay, you know how we talked about that open casket? We're not going to be able to do that. And he just chalks it up to like, oh, well, they don't really preserve bodies in South America. And then when we get a look at at Manley, he's just like a withered husk because the spiders just like drained him. And the spider crawls out. We get a bit of a scare. Okay, how did they train this cat? He puts a sandwich down and the cat runs over and grabs one slice of bread so perfectly.
I know that was in my notes actually, and I took it out. But yeah.
That was highlight of the movie for me. Luckily the spider doesn't get the dog or the cat. He goes out of this like doggy door and a crow immediately picks up the spider, and we get like a view from the spider as it's like flying through the sky, but it bites the crow and the crow drops dead. Okay. Now we meet the real main characters of the movie, the Jennings family. So we meet Jeff Daniels, aka Dr. Jennings, Ross Jennings, who him and his family have moved to the country from San Francisco, and he has an agreement with the town doctor. Like, okay, town doctor will retire. He will get all of his patients. The wife's given up whatever her career is, but they're going to be able to make it work because he'll be the town doc. They've got this beautiful country house and this like crazy looking barn. Guys, if there's one thing you should take away from this film, sign a contract. Like, don't just do a handshake. Yes. You got to sign a contract. He's afraid of spiders. Like we kind of get a little bit of a scare is like, you think it's the bad spider because his son says he sees a spider. It's just a little guy. The wife has to take care of it because Ross is like genuinely like afraid of spiders. And the spider from Venezuela goes into their barn and just kind of disappears. That night, Ross and his wife Molly make love, and the spiders also make love. It was a very
suggestive,
romantic evening for everyone involved. Well, the next day when Ross goes to see Dr. Metcalf, who is just like this old kind of asshole guy, he's like, I actually decided I don't want to retire. Seen so many of my friends, kind of basically implies like he'll just retire and die. So he wants to keep working, which is kind of understandable, but like give him half your clients at least. So Ross is dejected, but he meets this nice older woman, Margaret, who is just like a go-getter. She's like, I don't like that guy. I'm going to be your patient. She thinks Dr. Metcalf is a bad doctor. He's got her on these like heart pills. But when Jennings like inspects her, he's like, I don't think you need to be on these like, you're very healthy. You do have, I liked this whole scene. I thought it was very cute and realistic. This is the whole part of the movie I think is really good, is this conflict, So Molly takes a picture of this giant web that is in their barn. Like she goes up this rickety ladder and already there's this just like huge web, and she's just like, oh, cool. And takes a photo of it. And she wants to show her husband, but now we learn he has a core memory that at age 2, there was a spider crawling over him and he was paralyzed with fear. And now when he sees spiders, he truly can't move his body. I loved all this. I thought this was great character building. And the wife was very understanding. Like, she kind of was like, you're an adult. Your life's going to be really hard if you freeze at every spider. But she's also very understanding. And so, she convinces him to kind of get some exposure therapy and go see this giant cool web. He's crawling up the spider, but then a dead rat falls on him and he gets all these cobwebs over his face. And I just love this. Like, he really freaks out. Like, he's yelling, and I just thought that was great. And then we see some ominous spider eggs in a cocoon. So Margaret, Dr. Jennings' patient, she said that she thinks Dr. Metcalf really is just beloved by the town. They know him. He throws great parties. So she's like, I'm going to throw a party for you and your family, and everybody will want to be your client. So she throws a welcome party for Ross. It looks crazy. Like, it looks like a wedding or something. It's a huge, like, garden party.
Yes. Yeah. It's a good call.
Yeah. We just get a little bit of character building of the different people in the town. Like, we meet the coach, we meet, we see the Manleys' parents, the family Manley. They are not doing well. They're really sad. They weren't able to ever see their son's body. So that really makes them sad. And we see more of Dr. Metcalf, who is an asshole. The spider eggs hatch. Yeah, Manley's folks are drunk. His mom is drunk at the party because she's so, overwhelmed with grief. After the party, one of the spiders crawls into Margaret's house and bites her. This whole scene is the tension that builds is so good because we love her. She's been helping out, Dr. Jennings so much. And I just loved this whole conflict because you just know where it's going to go. Is like, everybody now knows she's his only patient. He just changed her medication. So it's just the perfect setup for, this guy to be in trouble. I liked all this. So it bites her, very sad. And so there's this moment Ross discovers that the wood in his wine cellar is rotted, suspects termites. There's these scenes where I don't even know what he's doing, but like these nails just come up through the floor and almost get his son and his wife. It's so, and then they just leave it.
I know. I was just like, she doesn't even like go over to look at it. It's just like the scene's done and these nails are sticking up in the floor.
Yeah. Not okay. Get your tetanus shots. So, Margaret's not answering her phone. Ross goes over to check, and Molly calls the exterminator. So when he gets to Margaret's house, her beautiful orange cat is meowing sadly at the door. Margaret's not answering. We realize she has died. Doc Metcalf is on the scene. He does what we know he's going to do. He says it's a heart attack. Ross may be guilty of medical malpractice because he took her off her blood pressure medication. And, this is a huge mess. Now, this is an interesting part of the movie. John Goodman's whole character, like, he's like in his own movie.
That's all I knew about this movie was that John Goodman was in it.
Really?
Like, I didn't know the lead or anything like that. In fact, I thought John Goodman was the lead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just associated him with this film.
That's crazy because he really is just like a gag, like a running gag through the movie. Mm-hmm. And he is in his own movie. I mean, I never laughed out loud, I think, but I did enjoy it. I think it was cute, but it does feel so out of place.
Yes.
All of this. Yeah. Like the music changes. He's got his own theme music. But it's fun. He shows up to check out their house. He says, when wife says, "Oh, my husband thinks it's termite," he goes, "No room for amateurs in this game." Okay, it is pretty funny.
I love him.
He just says that, the basement's rotting because it's bad wood. He's like, do you mind if I take this floor out? She's like, "I'd rather you not." He's like, "Okay. All right." And she says, "What can we do?" He says, "Take out bad wood, put in good wood." This guy, he's to the point. Okay, this next scene is absolutely insane. I think I blocked it out of my memory because I was just like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying this is okay. We'll get into it. The coach that we had met at the party, he feels bad for Ross. He meets him, at the funeral, and he's like, I'll hook you up. What he meant was Dr. Jennings is going to come to the high school and check out the balls of all the football players. They stand in a line, and we see them from the back as their drawers drop. And, he's like, cough. I don't know. I was like, I'm ready for this to be over.
It does go on for quite a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of coughing. It's just like
a lot of coughing.
Yeah, I don't know. This is insane. If this happened to anybody in their life, I'm just thinking being in a row naked with all my peers as like a random guy I just met, like cups my balls. I just feel like that would be a very strange memory for me. So if this was a thing that actually happened in the world, I'm sorry.
Oh, God. I know. I was like, did this ever happen? Could this ever happen? But I've heard that like some people in their youth, men, for swimming class swam naked in the school pool. So,
like, I waffle because I'm like, Americans have a strange society and view towards nudity, and I envy the culture in a way of other, cultures that nudity is just seen as like, this is your body, like who cares?
Right.
But then at the same time, I'm just like, that seems odd to me.
Yes.
Swimming naked at school, it feels odd.
I would agree.
It took me a while to get, because at my, it wasn't until high school that I had a gym at my school, because my elementary and middle school didn't have a gym. There was no changing into gym clothes. So that was a huge adjustment for me freshman year. And at first I changed in the bathrooms because I was like, I'm not changing around all these people. But you're seen as a weirdo if you do that. Like, you're genuinely seen as like, what are you hiding? Like, why are you doing that? So I sucked it up, but and no bullying. There was no Carrie situation, but it was, I don't know, just didn't. Well, I wasn't a fan. I was glad when that period of my life was over. Anyways, so yeah, we get this odd scene. So then we're seeing the football practice, and Dr. Jennings is just kind of sitting on the bleachers looking. There's a moment where we think the spider's going to bite this girl on the bleachers. It doesn't. It gets into this kid Todd's helmet, and he puts on his helmet. There's like a tackle, and I do like the scene because all the players are tackled on top of each other. One by one, they get up, and then Todd's at the bottom. He's not getting up, and Dr. Jennings goes to check, and he has died. People around the town are now calling Ross Dr. Death what would checking the kid's balls do to kill him? That part I didn't. Yeah. I see why, but I felt like that was a bit sloppier of like, Margaret makes sense, but look at all the other kids who didn't die. But I like this is just my favorite part. I'm like, this is what the spider should be for, I think. In my mind is like, well, how is he going to get out of this? Yeah. So, where's this going to go? Well, Metcalf is on his walking pad. Shout out to the walking pad. And, he's even an asshole to his sweet wife. And he gets bitten on his toe because he didn't check his slipper before putting them on. He has died. And now everybody's asking, okay, well, this guy wasn't Dr. Death's patient, so what's up? And another thing is like Dr. Jennings had wanted an autopsy of Margaret, but Metcalf was like, you're a sick fuck. Like, there's no way you can do that. And I love the scene of Jennings's kids being like, the kids at school, like they say you want to cut people up, and he's kind of like, well, I want to learn what happened to her. But now there's nothing stopping him. So he does get an autopsy of Metcalf. It reveals he died because of a toxic substance. unidentified, so it could be a spider bite. And so Ross is like, hey, exhume those bodies. I want to check them. And we've had this bumbling cop who they just make fun of the whole time, Lloyd, the sheriff. And he does seem like a stupid asshole. I don't know. I guess I kind of like that. I feel like this movie has a very like anti-cop message. He never does anything good like this guy.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he's on Metcalf's side too.
Yeah. And he's like, we can't exhume him. And Ross is just like, well, I've got the state coroner or whoever on my side. So he warns, his daughter's about to go on a sleepover with Bunny, the neighborhood girl. He warns them about spiders. He looks like a crazy person. And they do almost get bit by one. And this is when I realized, I'm like, I don't think spiders can be the enemy of an entire movie if you don't mix up the tension getting scenes, because there's just so many scenes of like, oh, they're gonna get bit. What happens if they get bit? Oh, it didn't get bit. And I don't know, mix it up a little bit. So we see a spider carry an egg ball into Ross's wine cellar. The autopsy showed that Margaret and Todd were also killed by this unidentified substance, probably a spider bite. There, we see like a big spider on Ross's wall. He's going to kill it. It's just a hook on the wall. Okay. We got a little fake out.
I liked that. And I liked it that he wakes up. He doesn't wake his wife up to take care of it. He's actually going to take care of it. And from what it looks like, a spider like as big as your hand or something like that. So I thought that was some nice character development there.
Yeah, he's taking charge of his life. So he contacts Atherton, who's like the premier spider expert around him. And Atherton sends his assistant, Chris, to Canaima. And he's kind of like, Canaima, where have I heard that name before? I don't know. I'll send my assistant. And they find the spider web. They're like checking out Metcalf's house, I think. Or is it Margaret's house?
I think Margaret's.
Okay, yeah. They're checking out her house to see if they find any clues. Lloyd, he's eating cereal out of the box when he comes across the carcass of a spider. He's like, oh, help. And oh my God, this scene is also weird. Yeah, I forgot about how weird this scene is. Okay, y'all. I think I might have to take a star off. I like this movie. I might have to take a star off for both these scenes combined. Okay, because we get this whole scene. The coach has this teenage daughter. She's showering. Dad wants to come in to shower. And the daughter's like, go use the downstairs one. Okay, she's showering. We get this, she's really enjoying herself. And then a spider. Oh, this was like, it kind of lands on her face, but skitters off. But then like she feels it on her and she freaks out and it escapes down the drain. And she's screaming. And her dad's on the toilet with like, a newspaper. And he's like, I can't get a dang thing moment of rest in this house. And he opens up the door just as she's coming out of the shower fully nude. And she like looks down at her nude body and back up at her dad and then like hits him. And then like the mom comes in and it's like, what are we doing? Like, what, so what's the joke?
It's not funny.
Yeah, it's not funny. So yeah, that's bothersome. You can cut that whole thing out from the movie.
And that's like her only character. She's like girl who takes showers, like, and drives her little sister around. Like she doesn't have any character whatsoever.
That's it. That's all they could think of. So Chris captures a spider. So then the exterminator comes back to this neighbor's house with his spray. And he sees one outside and it's so funny because he's like feeling around and he's like, there's no spiders here. And we see one from like behind the toilet. Like there totally is one and he just nearly escaped. But he sees a big spider outside, tries to spray it. His normal spray doesn't kill it. So he just squishes it with his foot. And it's this nasty, like squishy.
Gooey.
One. Yeah. In the lab, Atherton tests the spider, finds it's highly venomous. So they have to find the original spider. They think it's at the mortuary. Here's why I'm starting to tune out. They're like, well, we need to call the mortician. Well, he and his wife are watching Wheel of Fortune. We've seen there's a lot of popcorn in this movie. This guy's always eating popcorn, the mortician. There's a spider in the popcorn bowl. When they finally get there, they've already been killed by the spider. Very sad. I was bummed out. So Dr. Atherton, he's figuring it out separately. He goes to Dr. Ross's house because, like the sheriff's driving him around. He sees just a picture of what could be a random barn on the wall, and I don't know where I think he's at like the sheriff's office or something, or Ross's like office. And he's like, where is this building? And the sheriff's like, oh, well, that's at Dr. Jennings' house. Take me there. What do you, it must be here. Can you guys think about that for a second? If you just saw a building on the wall, you'd be like, this must be in Canaima. But okay. I'm only thinking of this now. At the time, it didn't really bother me. So he finds webs in the barn. He goes in there alone. Stupid idiot. And he even like, the web is taut. He kind of touches it a little to send the vibrations. And he's like, come and get me. And it does. And he dies. Okay. Yeah. And then there's Margaret's cat. I actually had looked up like does the cat die? Because they showed two beautiful cats and I didn't want to see that, but it is like the most, could be a stuffed animal.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. So it didn't bother me. So yeah. Giant spider bites Atherton on the neck, and he dies immediately. Then the exterminator Delbert, he finds Atherton in the web. He's kind of just like, oh, shouldn't have done that.
Did you have a problem with the people being in the webs, like in both of these films?
It did seem ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Oh, how about you?
Too. Oh, yeah. I was just like, okay, that's too far. Even I thought the cat was too far. Like there was a bird earlier, and I'm like, okay, I guess I could see that, but not.
How fast are these spiders?
Like, how strong are they? Like,
yeah.
I don't.
That's so true. Like you'd think these bodies would have been there for like decades, but no, it's been like 30, 45 minutes. So that's kind of crazy. And that's what I mean is like, okay, let's say you had a horror game. You could have a spider level. Like you could have a level where you go into this abandoned house and then you find a body that is covered with cobwebs. How long has it been here? Well, the thing must be dead by now. Oh no, there's a spider. But like, I don't know if they can carry a whole movie. That's my take. Spiders are just this part. The pacing is killing me because his family's having a normal. There's no urgency. As soon as they arrive at the house, now the spiders want to come out, and I'm like, okay, so there's so many spiders in this house. How did they not notice until now? But okay, whatever. It's a movie. Everybody gets outside of the house except for Ross. Delbert shows up to save the day. He again is in his own movie. He says rock and roll. He's got his good, spray now. Ross falls into the cellar. He's in the spider's nest. It's the right conditions. It's dark and it's moist and, there's no other spiders around. Yeah, he's trapped in the cellar because the cellar door is padlocked. Yeah. And why are they not like, hey, where's our dad? Like our dad who's like deathly afraid of spiders. He might be in trouble if he sees one. And there's actually a million in there.
I know. And he's paralyzed with fear.
Yeah. Yeah, this is where I'm kind of fully like, I'm ready for the movie to be done. Because there's this whole thing of like, oh, the spider, it mated with the spiders of Canaima and it's the babies. And I was just like, I'm over it. He throws the queen into the circuit breaker and she fries. He finds the egg sac and pours wine on it. Okay. This wakes up the general. He gets scared. He falls backward. A wine rack falls on him. and he's got to like, the spider at one point like is, crawling on him just like when he was 2 years old. He's got to fight with the spider using a lighter and a flammable can of something. He kills it. And this also kills the spider egg sac as well, because the movie's got to wrap up soon. And then Delbert comes in Delbert's mind, he's like, I've saved the day. This is all thanks to me. And when he exits, the family has no urgency. They're just like, oh, you're back.
Yeah. It's so weird.
It's so like, they're not like, Dad, oh my God, I thought you were dead. It's just like, oh, where were you? So now they move back to San Francisco, and this is odd. Like, they're having a nice evening, and he's like, now we're back here where things won't be as out of our control. And then there's like a bunch of earthquakes, and like that's the end of the movie, which I guess is all that to say, like, oh, there will always be unexpected things in your life. Okay, will they be like killer spiders? I don't know. Again, I got into it when it became this like nobody trusts him and thinks he's crazy. That's my favorite thing. And then it just turned into like Alien with spiders, but not good.
Right.
Yeah. Well, here's some trivia. The live spiders were housed separately in a temperature-controlled area, since spiders can't be trained. That's really funny. An entomologist devised other means to guide the spiders, such as vibrating wires, because they won't cross over them, and lemon pledge furniture wax, which the spiders refused to walk on. The spider wranglers worked with the actors on how to handle the spiders so as not to mishandle or mistreat them. I do need a count, though, on how many died. You can't tell me not a single one died in the filming of this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't believe it. The production reached out to a Hollywood prop shop to build the General, a 15-inch mechanical Big Bob double. It was created by none other than future Mythbuster Jamie Hyneman. What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I thought that was cool.
I love that. That's a great show. All right. Well, briefly, what does Letterboxd have to say about it? Courtney S. gave it a half star. This movie can go to hell. Literal nightmares. Claire gave it a half star. Watched this in Mr. Brown's psych class and will never watch again. Oh my God. I would love to know the well, I know it just must have been a unit on phobias, but he was like, I don't want to teach today. Watch Arachnophobia.
Watch Arachnophobia.
That's awesome.
I know. It's kind of a stretch.
I watched House in my AP Psych class, and I was just like, I'm not mad at it, but I'm not learning anything.
House MD?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't even remember what it was for, but I just remember being like, oh, I like this show.
Yeah.
Autumn gave it a half star. Scientists are still pondering the mental process that led my father to think encouraging a 6-year-old me to watch this with him because it's funny was a good idea. Why, yes, it does do exactly what it says on the tin. Oh, poor Autumn. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Autumn.
I do think if you're a kid, this would be really scary.
Yeah, I do too.
Kate gave it 5 stars. Indisputable classic. But the real treasure is the end credits song Don't Bug Me by Jimmy Buffett, which, for some inexplicable reason, seems to be entirely from the perspective of the main spider. Wait, I don't know that one.
I don't know that one either.
Might be a deep cut. Lee Rutherford gave it 5 stars. I absolutely love this movie. I've probably watched it more than 50 times. Wow.
That's a lot.
It was a go-to sleepover movie for in my youth, and it hasn't tarnished a bit. Perfectly entertaining horror comedy. That's cute.
Mac, have you ever watched any movie 50 times?
No.
I don't think I have either.
I think 10 is like I saw X-Men First Class in the theaters 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was going on with me that summer, but I needed that movie, I guess. And And I must have watched it more times, so I feel like that's got to be my most watched film. And that can only be like 15. How about, what do you think is your most watched?
Well, it used to be Zoolander.
That's probably up there too.
But then I watched it one too many times, and I don't, that
Don't
you
need
run
to
the
see it
risk
again.
of doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my stepmother was saying, "Do you find this funny?"
Yes.
I'm like, it's hilarious.
What of it? I even said the other day, I was talking about some K-pop star, and I was like, basically was like, Hansel, he's so hot right now.
Yeah.
That's the best line. Kyle Warner gave it 5 stars. Watched on VHS. If a spider ever jumps on my tits in the shower, I'm killing myself. Did for spiders what Jaws did for sharks, but add humor. I don't know if that's true.
That's basically the opposite of what you said, re-alien. That's funny.
Yeah, like it was like kind of, maybe I should have watched it with other people. Alone, just watching it like locked in, maybe that's not the right vibe.
Yeah. It was fine. I think if you had watched it at the right time and it was a sleepover movie, I think I could see you having a lot of nostalgia for it and really enjoying it. But yeah, I watched it alone too, and it was fine, but it didn't really do too much for me.
Can you imagine? Okay, I bet there was a time period, the kids watching this at the sleepover, when the ball scene happened, they were like dying. I'm sure they were like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So maybe it's just not for us.
Yeah, that could be.
Well, how would we rate it? I mean, health code violations?
Sexual assault allegations?
I'll give it 3 allegations.
I was going to give it 3. I'll give it 3.5. I think it's cute.
Yeah, very cute.
Yeah, the acting's great. It isn't scary at all. And this is one that I don't know, it just flew under my radar, and I never was interested in seeing it until I was trying to come up with something to pair with Infested. So, but yeah, I'll say 3.5.
It's respectable. What have we learned? Get a contract.
Yeah. Don't put nails through the floor where your family is having lunch.
No. And
if you do,
get rid of them.
Yeah.
Don't get a big ego, like if they all would have listened to Dr. Jennings, a lot of this wouldn't have happened. A lot of innocent people. I mean, rips to that teenager who died. I mean, bad. It would have been interesting. I don't know because a lot of the people who died were older. If it was some like, well, it could be a spider, but it will only affect you if you're older. And then, a healthy young teen dies. Oh no, I don't know. Just some thoughts. You could redo this movie from the 90s. But actually don't call me. Would we watch it again? Probably not. I'm good. Favorite scene and/or kill?
Oh, all the scenes with Delbert were very fun. I was happy whenever he showed up. He didn't have a big role in the film, but I thought he did great. Yeah, that'll be my favorite scenes.
I think the initial spider getting Margaret was the most. I felt like the dread of knowing. I would see how everything was being telegraphed, and I was like, oh no, what are they gonna think? So that was, I thought, the best storytelling in the movie. Who wins the You Fool Award? Dr. Metcalf. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not
At least
saying
his
he
wife
deserved
didn't
to
die.
die. Yeah. That
Yeah.
was lucky.
But I mean, he didn't deserve it, but
He was not a nice fellow.
no. And apparently not a good doctor.
Yeah. Well, that was Arachnophobia.
Yay.
Okay, well, our second film is called Infested. The short plot summary from IMDb says, residents of a rundown French apartment building battle against an army of deadly, rapidly reproducing spiders. And apologies for pronouncing these French names. I don't speak French, but I'll give it a shot. So in French, it's something like vermine, which literally translates to vermin. Directed by Sebastian Vanacek, screenplay by Sebastian Vanacek and Florent Bernard, story by Sebastian Vanacek. Starring Theo Christine, Sophia Lassaf, Jerome Niel, Lisa Nyarko, and Finnegan Oldfield. That's a cool name. Cinematography by Alexandra Jamen, edited by Nassim Gorgi Tehrani and Thomas Fernandez, and music by Douglas Cavana and Xavier Coe. Release
cool
dates the 30th of August 2023 in Venice and the 27th of December 2023 in France. This has a running time of 106 minutes. How did you feel about this runtime, Mac?
Too long.
Yeah, it is too long. I agree. Well, like the previous movie, we have an opening in the desert this time, and some rough-looking guys are trying to capture these spiders. And so I don't know how they get them out of the hole, but I think they just emerge from this hole and they capture a bunch in these plastic containers. But one guy gets bitten and he immediately starts to go into a seizure and is mercy killed, I guess, via machete. And so that's what and that's all we know about these guys and these spiders.
This is such a bizarre, like, beginning of setting all of our things in motion. Like, this doesn't make sense, especially for what the price of the spider ends up being. Like, why are we doing this? Like, what's their mission? What's their goal? You'll never know. Like, Snakes on a Plane, that's a crazy movie. That's gotta be up there in a lot of, I've watched it many times, but the setup is crazy, but it makes sense. Like,
okay,
the snakes, there is a reason they are on that plane. And if they can do that, this movie could better explain why the fuck these spiders are being sold.
Right.
Like, are they just like, let's fuck with people? Like, it doesn't make sense.
No, I think it's just for the exotic pet market. But I can't imagine that spiders are all that valuable.
And you go into all this trouble, like, surely you'll sell it for like 200 or something, right? Mm-hmm. Right?
Well, there is at least one other thing that doesn't make sense to me in this film, so you might have to help me when we get there.
Okay.
But there may be more confusing things as well. So we meet Caleb, and he is in this kind of bodega looking place, and he wants to buy some earrings, and he comes across one of the spiders in the original plastic Tupperware thing. And so he wants to buy it. And I think the guy's name is Ollie, sells it to him, both things for $80.
I think, no, 100. Like, he
$100,
took off on the earrings. So the spider is only $50 fucking dollars. What's the profit margin on this spider?
And okay, the original guys had to know these spiders are incredibly dangerous, and they're not wearing gloves or long sleeves or anything. And but they have the machete there in case they have to mercy kill somebody. It's so weird.
It's just bizarre. And they're so like matter of fact, like they have no emotion when this guy's getting like ripped to, or like experiencing the worst pain imaginable. They're just like, okay.
They're rough guys.
Yeah, this is the life, I guess.
We have a scene. So where the setting is this really rundown tenement building, and in the sort of entryway, the cleaning lady, Ms. Zhao, is being hassled by a bunch of young thugs. And so Caleb, tells them to knock it off, and he confiscates the kids' firecrackers. So put a pin in that.
This kid, or, Caleb, I don't know how you feel, but they never got me. I never came around on Caleb. Like, if I was one of these kids in this building, I think I'd hate his guts so much. He's so holier than thou, but I don't think he backs that up, really. And
yeah, he's deeply flawed.
Yeah, and like he's really like, oh, Michelle, like I'll help you, and she's kind of like, fuck off, like I don't like, I just want to do my fucking job. Like you can tell she's just had it, and then he's like, oh, I'm just trying to help, bro. Let the lady. You live in like the Panopticon. She's obviously got a horrible life. Just this building was so crazy. Like, is it real?
I thought it was, and then the ending happened, and so I was a little bit confused. So
yeah,
I thought it was a real building, but I don't know. We meet Caleb's friend Matisse, who steals bikes, and he is sort of coming into Caleb's storage unit thing, where we see that he has wall-to-wall tennis shoes, and that's sort of his business, selling these tennis shoes. We also see that Caleb has a bunch of exotic pets in his room. He's got frogs and snakes and a scorpion and all kinds of stuff. And he's pissed off when he goes into his room because his sister has turned off the power which of course, means that the animals don't have the heat that they need. He lives with his sister, and we have a scene with her, Manon, and we learn that their mom is dead, and the sister wants to fix up and sell the apartment. But Caleb says he'll never sell because there are too many memories of his mom in the place. And Manon is turning off the power in Caleb's room to save money. But of course, Caleb doesn't see it that way. So they're pretty conflicted. We're yelling at each other pretty harshly.
He's calling her like a bitch. Like, this guy bugs me because it's like, dude, this is the kind of stuff you move out to do. Like, have a whole exotic thing, and you're like, 9 out of 10 people will be like, you can't live here and have this. Like, it's not working out. So just sell the damn apartment. Like, I don't know. I wish we got a little bit more. They just kind of tell us how they feel, and we're just supposed to be like, okay, like, I like, show me a little memory with the mom or something. I don't know. Yeah,
we never get that. There's a going away party for this woman named Claudia. She's a neighbor. And we find out the earrings that Caleb bought were for her. How sweet.
That was really cute.
That was. Meanwhile, back in Caleb's room where he had left the spider in a rotten shoebox, the spider has gotten out of the box. And so when Caleb comes back from the party, he sees that, and he looks for the spider everywhere. He can't find it, and he's starting to panic. So we all saw it coming. But he does come across this egg sack, which he doesn't seem to know what it is. He just sticks it in another shoebox and puts it under his bed. So put a pin in that.
Yeah. He's really got a way of like not facing his problems head on ever.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah, like I said, he's deeply flawed. He's got a lot of problems. But he's also kind of sweet. I mean, at least to animals.
Yeah, he's thoughtful. Like he sees the older people in his building as like they were there for us when our mom died. So, they deserve respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's not that Manon doesn't think they deserve respect. It's just she has different priorities. So, but I don't think Caleb can understand that. There's this customer of Caleb's, and I think his name is Tumani or something like that, but he goes by TN, and he wants these shoes that are TNs. And so Caleb takes those downstairs in the basement where kids are popping wheelies, and that's where they make the deal for the shoes. But this guy, Gilles, comes out and he's like caught red-handed, and he accuses Caleb of selling drugs, not shoes. And I don't understand why Caleb never says, dude, I'm selling shoes.
Yeah, it's the way Caleb handles arguments makes no sense to me. Like, I don't know. You're right. Like, why not just be like, do you want to look at the box right now? Because there's just shoes in here. Mm-hmm. Like, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, he just doesn't say anything, and they just get into this scuffle, but it could be easily resolved if Tien also was like, yeah, I just paid, this money for these shoes. Later, Tien is putting on a shoe and is attacked by the spider inside. When he goes to check if there are more spiders, tons of baby spiders swarm him. Okay, but I didn't get that because the egg sack is back in Caleb's room. So where did all these babies come from?
Because I think he like smushes it maybe, and then the babies come out, which so much of this movie, I feel like a lot of these scenes work one time, but everything you see is a motif that just keeps happening. And by the third time you've seen babies explode out of something, you're just like, I knew the babies were going to explode out of the spider. Like, it's not surprising anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This first time it's pretty scary. They're swarming. They're coming up his arm. The heebie-jeebies. Yeah. Well, we see Tien a little later. He's not doing well, and he eventually dies.
Like, pushes all this glass over and then just like falls on the glass, and it's just like, we didn't need to do all that too.
Oh, and the dog is like, what's wrong, Tien?
Yeah, poor dog.
Yeah. So the neighbors discover him, and EMTs come, and they want to quarantine the building, and they yell at everyone to go home. Put a pin in that.
Any information, like they don't say, here's maybe something to look out for. They're wearing a mask, so they're all like, should we be wearing masks? And he just takes the mask off and is like, there, you happy? No, we want info. Like, anything?
And they don't know anything at all. They just want to quarantine the place. And Leela and Jordy are visiting Manon, but they're like, can we go home? And they're like, no, nobody can go home. Nobody can leave the building. We have a scene with Ms. Zhao. She hears skittering, and she gets her bug spray, puts her handkerchief over her mouth, and she sprays the room. So the spider who was in the room just joins all the spiders behind the vent in the wall. So now we see how many spiders there actually are. It just makes me feel weird because they're bunch of spiders probably in my walls. There are probably a bunch of different kinds of bugs and stuff in my walls.
Don't think about it.
As long as they stay there, that's fine.
I mean, there is no, like, the inside is just like it's not real. Like, we're all technically kind of outside.
Yeah.
So at least there's less than if you were outside.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's a good point. We have a scene, it's pretty suspenseful, with Jordy and Leela in the bathroom. So Leela's in there alone, and she sees one big spider, and she gets into the shower and closes the door, but she's screaming like crazy for Jordy to come and kill this spider. And he's, amazed at the size of the spider. And so it's just this suspenseful scene with the spider. And when he finally steps on it, of course, all these babies come teeming out.
And they kind of come out the drain too. That was creepy.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So the cops lock everyone inside, and in Caleb's bedroom, he sees that the spider created a cocoon. He's in the bedroom with Matisse, and I don't know if Jordy is there too, but he opens up the shoebox, and Matisse sees that there are tons of spiders, immediately closes it and like wraps it up with tape. That was pretty good. Like,
yeah,
he was quick with his instincts, so that was pretty good.
This is what really, because I don't know if it's exactly this scene, but what got me, I guess, about Caleb's character, that I just was like, I need something to make me like this, or like any of the characters. I would like to like one of them. I don't think I ended the movie really caring about them, but it's like, he doesn't take any responsibility. Like, this is all his fault. Like, he didn't say anything when the spider left. Like, granted, how could he know that the spider would be like this? But he didn't take proper care of it. And I don't know, like, his argument is just always like, my mom died. We learned, like, she died 2 years ago. And I'm not saying that's like, hey, baby, get over it. But like, that, what does that have to do with you kind of being the reason all these people died? And all they want is like information from him. And he's kind of like, I don't know where the spider came from. It's like, who else could have brought it in, you stupid idiot? And they're right to be mad at you. And he just, I don't know. He just seems like a little baby.
He's like, I bought one spider. Like, as if that is unconnected to what's going on. We get another scene with Ms. Zhao. She sees all this spider webbing in the hallway, and we see that a bird has been caught in the web. Ms. Zhao is attacked by a spider in the face, and so she falls down the stairs. So R.I.P., we assume. So back at the apartment, they tape up everything. They're taping up the faucets. They're taping up the fire alarm, like everything, the door jamb, just anywhere where they think spiders can get through. And they have a heated debate about whether to leave or try to round up the neighbors and leave. And so Caleb is for going and getting the neighbors, but everybody else is like, fuck that, let's just go. But don't they know that they're locked inside?
Yeah, I think they do. Like, they know that they're quarantined because they can't get any messages out or in. So the plan just, that's what's also confusing, is you're kind of like, what is the plan?
Yeah. I was confused by that for sure. In this section, Caleb is really mean to Manon. He is yelling at her, and he's like, don't you remember mom? What would mom think? And really harsh. So I don't know what else he says to her, but I just remember that stuff about her mom, their mom. Elsewhere, Musa comes across a giant spider. This one is like, I don't know, 2 feet across or something like that. And he kicks at the spider, and he kicks all the way through the drywall. And then he sticks his head in the hole to like investigate it. So he's a goner too.
this is another repeat. Miss Zhao, we've already gotten her stick in her head. Miss Zhao makes sense. She's like the building, you know, she takes care of the building. She's got all her gear on. It's a pretty cute scene. We get why she's putting her head in the hole. There's no reason for this guy to put his head in the hole. It's another horror thing of like, wouldn't it be freaky if he did that? I guess.
They go to Claudia's apartment, really sad, and they discover that Claudia is dead. But there's also, it's kind of a freak out because she's moving. Like she's, yeah. This is one of my fears.
Oh, yeah.
Like coming across a body that's moving and it turns out it's moving because it's full of bugs or spiders or something. So their plan now is they want to get out through the parking garage. But the problem is between the main hallway and the parking garage, there's this corridor and it is filled with spiders and spider webs. And the camera goes upside down. It goes in a 360, you know, just to like as it's moving down the corridor so we can see the extent of this horror show. I don't know if they've already realized this, but they know that spiders stop moving when light is shown on them. So
I guess that's we're just making up rules now.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense in the context of the movie where there's been plenty of times where there's light on a spider
shining. Yes.
Yeah. But okay.
Well, it has to be the case because their plan is the light is on a timer, a 1-minute timer. And so Manon volunteers to be the last person through the corridor because she thinks she can make it through in the 1 minute when the timer is going to go off. In the meantime, she's going to hold it, you know, on for the rest of them to get through.
Can I say, missed opportunity to make us finally like Caleb. Like, this is all Caleb's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Have him be the guy to do it. Now we'll be like, okay, he's coming around. You're going to make your sister do it? Like, come on, bro. Like, I have zero respect for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of it like this. Okay, this is where you might have to help me because I kind of zoned out during this part. I got really confused between like now and kind of the shootout in the parking garage. So you're going to have to help me with this part. So they get through the gauntlet. But when they get to the door to go to the parking garage, the cops have blocked that door and they won't let them out. And the cops are yelling at them to go home. And they gas them. And I thought it was just flashbangs. But do they shoot at them?
I don't know if I can help because when the shots happen, I was like, are they shooting? Like, that was my exact thought was like, are they shooting at them? And what was the point of this scene? Like, why did we have this long scene of them going through the tunnel just to be like, run back through? Like,
yeah,
it just, yeah, I don't know. They didn't have anything on, like, the filmmakers had nothing on the other side of the door. So they were just like, you can feel like there's nothing on the other side of the door. Like the way it's shot, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm tuning out too.
Well, now they have to go back the way they came, but the light is out. So it doesn't make any sense that they would all make it through. Well, they don't all make it through, but it wouldn't make sense that any of them would make it through.
Yeah.
Back through that corridor. But they do. And when they get to the other side, they discover that Jordy isn't with them. And we see that he's been snagged by a web.
Already.
Yeah, already somehow. And then we hear his screams as he dies. and our characters hear them, and Jordy's crying and he's saying, "I'm sorry." And it's pretty awful, and it goes on for quite a while.
It's an odd scene too, because Caleb first he's like, "I'll go get him," and he goes back through. Lila, Lila's freaking out. He finds him, and he's clearly like can't really help, but he still goes to help. And Jordy's like, "It's over for me. Like, go." And then as soon as he like closes the door, and he's like, "I couldn't get him," and Lila's freaking out. Then he starts screaming in pain, and I'm like, "Wait."
Yeah.
It would almost be like a like a funny scene if he was like, "I was just kidding. Like, please help." That's all I could think of.
I know. Well, I just didn't understand. Yeah, I don't. Anyways, so Matisse is a little bit ahead of them. He's starting to go up the stairs. I guess he's like tired of sitting around and crying and stuff. So he goes up these stairs and he discovers people in these huge webs above them that have been captured. And then he sees this huge spider emerging from, he's like, "You guys, we got to go." So Matisse's plan is to go up 15 floors to the roof. No fucking way, bro. There's no way. This is a bad plan.
How, and what are you going to do when you get out? Like they're dumb.
At one point, they are looking down a stairwell, and Matisse has found a Molotov cocktail. So he throws it at the spiders, but that just means that the spiders rush towards them.
He's so stupid.
Now, I thought they had only gotten to level 4, but did they get to the roof?
I don't know.
Okay. This part is really unclear, but they've made it to Gilles' apartment. And that might be near the roof or on level 4. I don't know. And and then the sister, or Lila, is it Lila and
Caleb, like they have a moment.
They have a moment. And she's like, "Why did you stop being friends with Jordy?" So we get this whole backstory that Jordy and Caleb, when they were kids, they promised each other they were going to open a reptile zoo for the kids. And so Caleb had this iguana that bit Jordy on the leg. Now, would that happen?
What's he doing with the iguana that it's even near his leg? Like, and if you're all about reptiles, which like it's clear that Jordy, there's a scene earlier where Jordy is like, he's still clearly interested in this, and he doesn't want to like kill the spider when they first find the big spider because he doesn't, want to harm like a creature, So like, wouldn't you know that probably getting bitten is just like a thing that will happen too? Like, I don't know. The backstory don't make any sense. Like,
yeah,
it would make so much more sense if it was like, hey, that's like a kid's dream. Like opening up a reptile zoo for the kids. What does that mean? Is like a thing that probably can't come to fruition. So it just make more sense if Jordy was like, "I'm an adult. Like I'm going to go do adult things." And Caleb, who is clearly stuck in the past and can't, move forward, is clinging. Like that would just make so much more sense. But the whole like, he ratted me out to the cops, so then I never visited him in the hospital. What are you talking? Like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah. So that had happened. Yeah. So the bite got infected. Jordy had to have surgery, and then it fucked Jordy's leg up forever after that. But he never told anybody that it was Caleb's iguana's fault. He said that he had a scooter accident, so Caleb wouldn't look bad.
Which is so, because like, why did Caleb think then that he did rat him out? Like,
he did, but he didn't tell other people.
Oh,
that it was the iguana.
Oh, great! Like,
well, wherever they are on the, near the roof or in Gilles' apartment, the cops break in and they have this whole fight with the cops. And it's pretty rough. I mean, it's pretty violent. The cops are like choking the kids, and the kids are like, landing punches and tackling them to the ground and stuff like that. And Caleb grabs one of the guns. Now, what kind of gun is it? But he shoots one of the cops.
This is crazy. Like,
I know.
What? You're a criminal.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was, I don't know, gas or something, or I don't know what else would have been in that gun, but you can't shoot it at somebody.
Use it as like, I'll shoot you if you don't let us through. He just went from 0 to 100.
So the fight ends with the cops gassing the kids, I guess, because they wake up back in the parking garage, back where they wanted to be all along. But they're all zip tied and everything. So then we see that Matisse's face is all fucked up. He was bitten on the neck. And so, okay, this plan I don't understand at all. But his plan is to storm the cops guarding the door and let all the spiders out.
He's like, tell everybody I was a hero. And they're all like, what? What? Like, what are you even doing right now? Don't do it.
I don't understand. I don't understand this plan at all. But he does that. And then all the spiders come out. Leela makes it to her car. And Manon and Caleb get inside a van. They have to break one of the windows out. But they get inside this van. But Caleb's been shot in the leg by this point. So they're inside this van. And they decide to have a heart-to-heart.
Not the time or the place.
The first one I was kind of okay with, but this one I'm just like, come on.
Yeah.
You're in survival mode, but you're going to just have, I don't know. So, but anyway, they make up. Everything's great with them now. They love each other. So giant spiders are starting to come in the van through that window. But now Leela shines her lights from her car and honks her horn so the spiders retreat. And I don't know what's going on with the cops. I guess they're all being attacked by spiders.
This is so crazy because you're telling me, I don't know what these cops have been doing this whole time. Why don't they have lights set up everywhere in the parking garage? Why are they working in darkness if you got the man-eating spiders and you're like, oh, the one randomly, I guess the rules changed mid-movie and they didn't get the memo. And they were like, what? Light stops them in their tracks? We didn't know that.
But they are, when the kids wake up, the cops are shoveling up carcasses of all these spiders.
Yeah.
So they have figured out some way to kill them.
It's just
makes no sense.
Yeah.
So they all get in the car with Leela and she drives to the door to the garage, but it's closed. And so someone's going to have to manually get out and open the door. But now we see the huge spider. It's like the biggest one of all. It's like, I don't know, the size of a small elephant or something. It's just huge. Baby elephant size. Caleb has to open the parking garage door. So he finally is a hero. So he tells Leela to shut off the lights. And so the spider just randomly walks away. And so Caleb can go and open the garage door, and he is hit with all this sunlight on his face and he smiles. We have one final scene. He's in the forest and he has a card from Jordy, and he buries that card that Jordy wrote about someday we'll have that reptile zoo, buries it in a shoebox. And then a spider crawls on Caleb and he tenderly puts it on a log. But when it doesn't immediately go away, he blows on it. He puffs it and it goes away at the end.
I guess the issue was cleared up. I guess that Ali, got rid of the spiders he had in his possession. I guess, they did what? Yeah. This was just a moment where I was like, thank God it's over.
Yeah. It wasn't a great film.
No.
But here's some trivia. 200 giant huntsman spiders were used in this movie.
Too many.
But it's like heavily CG.
Yeah.
Writer-director Sebastian Vanacek was looking for ideas around the discrimination faced by Black and Arab-looking people in France, and that led him to spiders, which are rarely welcome in homes. Whenever they're spotted, they're swatted. As everyone in the story, People and Spiders, is treated like vermin by society, the title came to him naturally.
Okay. The words that are written there don't line up with what I got out of the movie, which is you shouldn't let them in, they'll kill you. And the very beginning, we have indiscriminate Arab, in quotes, people in the desert, we don't know where, like doing, like looking scary. Like they're,
yes.
I feel like this movie contributes to negative stereotypes. And I get the idea, okay, you want to talk about comparing people not seen, people seen as vermin in society. Just watch Parasite. Like, watch Parasite, because that concept is executed well, and you get the idea of like they are seen as like cockroaches of society, and this is how they have to act to survive. But this is, if that's your meaning, then I guess you shouldn't let immigrants in. That would be the message, is like they'll get really big and kill you.
Well, and also, it's very anti-cop. What all the cops say to them that would go along with this message is they say, go home.
Ah, yeah.
And I think Gilles at one point says, you're not from here. So, but that's all. There's one final scene that I didn't mention, and that is we see the memorials for all the people who were killed in the building, in the attack. And then the building is destroyed. It's like blown up and destroyed. So I guess the idea is that's one way to solve the problem. But, but so that's what I meant before when I said I thought the building was real. But
but then it's
blown up. So I guess not.
Who knows?
Could have been a model. But briefly, what does Letterboxd have to say about it? Well, Emily Jackson gave it 5 stars. Hot French guys and killer spiders, fuck yeah. Intense and gritty with in-depth characters, which makes you all the more invested, or should I say infested? Hee hee. DV Astaris gave it 5 stars. Never before has a creature feature so thoroughly heebied my GBs and royally fucked me up.
Wow.
Evan the Nerd 83 gave it 5 stars. A fantastic spider horror film. I'm not even scared of spiders, and I still cringed at parts. But they also had my sympathy for being taken out of their original native habitat. The allergy for xenophobia hit hard.
I'm thinking like I definitely got some sentiment or some messages of like people face discrimination and, that's upsetting, in like I understood that as a theme of the movie. And I think that's an important message to send. I just don't think this movie necessarily did a great job conveying that theme.
Yeah. But I picked that review because he said the allergy for xenophobia hit hard. Let's see. Baba Tiramisu gave it half star. My mom wanted me to watch it with her. I'm arachnophobic. She knows it.
Oh, no.
Big Red Bug gave it a half star. I think it's really sweet of the spiders that they never attack the main characters.
That's so funny.
And that's it for the Letterboxd reviews. How would we rate it?
Egg sacks?
Sure.
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't hurt you. I mean, it might hurt your brain a little, but it won't hurt you to watch this film.
Watch Wreck and Parasite instead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good advice.
Yeah.
What have we learned?
Don't buy spiders. You don't know where. If you're going to buy a spider, have the tank set up first.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good idea. Also, I think just like clear your shit up with the people in your life. Like, don't have grudges that go on for like years and years and years. Like, just talk to the people.
Yeah.
That are close to you if you're having trouble with them. Would we watch it again?
No.
No. And did you have a favorite scene or kill?
I did like the scene in the very beginning when he's talking to Allie in the store, and Allie goes, like, you heard of like AliExpress? Like, they stole that name from me. I'm glad he wasn't in the rest of the movie because I think he made it out okay. So yeah, Allie's my favorite character and scene. How about you?
I liked Ms. Zhao. I just liked her whole vibe. And I really wish she hadn't died. I really, really wish she had been the final girl.
Same.
Yeah.
Justice for Ms. Zhao.
Yeah. Who wins the You Fool Award? I guess Caleb. That would have to be Caleb.
Dummy.
Well, thank you, Mac, for having this conversation with me about arachnophobia and infested.
It was a pleasure.
And thank you, WoHos, for joining us and for all your support. It means the world of horror to us, truly. We appreciate you downloading the show. Somebody downloaded all 187 episodes last week.
Wow.
Be like that person.
Yeah.
And telling your friends all about us. Next time, what will we be looking at, Mac? We've got folk horror, dolls, psychological horror, or puzzle movies.
I'm going to say the puzzle movies.
Okay, so that means we'll be looking at Cube and SAW.
Yay!
Remember, WoHos, we love you, and don't go in the basement.